I grew up in not an affluent family or an environment, and have felt the pressure of poverty.
When did you arrive?
Yesterday.
From?
New York.
New York.
Yeah.
I came in from LA, and then I saw you guys were in LA like 2 days ago or something.
Yes.
So.
And we will be in Singapore tomorrow.
Oh my God. So how are you guys with jet lags and stuff? Are you good with that? Do you have like a trick that works?
Honestly, it used to be terrible for me, and then when I stopped drinking, I found that helped a lot. Like you actually get much better sleep, and like you don't not as tempted to stay out late at night and then get less sleep. So that's my tip. Not everybody may want to take it.
Even on planes, though, because that's the best way to kind of. And you?
It's sort of like the Twilight Zone doing these press tours, because literally in a different city, often a different country and time zone every day. I mean, we went from LA to New York, then to London, although we were just in transit to Spain, and then Singapore, and then I'm going to Mumbai. So I just grab sleep where I can, and drink a lot of caffeine to keep me going when I feel tired, and I'm young. I'm still young.
You are very young. So how good are you guys in nature? Because there was some hardcore nature in this movie. Are you like...
Charlie's much better at nature than I am. He really enjoys it. He's like definitely a real, outdoorsman and all that stuff. I prefer the climate-controlled environments. You can turn it up, turn it down. I'm feeling a little hot. But it was really beautiful. This location was about as exquisite as you could hope for. So even I managed to enjoy.
So you are a man of nature, Charlie.
I do. I love a bit of the wilderness.
There was scenes that we shot up in the mountains, I remember, and he never went back to his trailer the entire days and just stayed resting and sitting up in the mountains. He would just stand under the rain machines, before a take and just kind of, embrace it. And so
yeah, I had a good run. I was just back for a month in LA after being gone for 13 months. So I went up to Oregon for 3 days and hiked in the mountains there, and then I went camping the weekend after. So I got a little bit of a dose of the outdoors recently. It's been nice.
So I guess we learned from this movie that greed is not so good.
Doesn't end well for these guys, yeah.
So how good are you guys with money? Are you big spenders, or now you can afford to buy a lot of things, I'm assuming, but are you...
I found out how responsible Charlie was, and it totally changed my, he's very careful, and I hope I'm not revealing too much.
No.
But he monitors all his expenses and very responsible, scrutinizes all the ins and outs. He's got his little ledger and keeps trying, and it made me feel like, gosh, I really ought to be paying better attention. I'm going to wake up one day and disaster is going to have struck. So he's inspired me to get more personally involved in, and I think it's, I'm pretty good. I'm not profligate. I don't think I'm wasteful. I am generous, and I believe in sharing. And if you've been very lucky, you've been fortunate, you should help others. By the same token, I think you've got to, when you have a family, certainly you learn a little bit more of a sense of long-term planning. So I would say I'm somewhere in the middle there.
Yeah, it just seems to me to be very practical. You hear a lot of horror stories in Hollywood. There's a culture in Hollywood amongst actors to hire business managers and to outsource the whole responsibility for one's finances to somebody else to handle. And of course, as you would imagine, with greed and temptation, sometimes that can go horribly wrong. And so I never quite liked the idea of that. And also I always just, I grew up in not an affluent family or an environment, and have felt the pressure of poverty, and have been very fortunate in my life. And so I've just been, I went out of my way to try to be fairly frugal and maintain a level of financial independence that will hopefully see me through the rest of my life.
So do you guys remember, you probably had some terrible jobs before you started acting. Do you remember? Can you share some of your work experience?
Yeah, I guess there were, they're not quite as esoteric or cool as Charlie's. Mine were I was worked at a croissant shop. I took tickets at a movie theater. I worked construction. That was the big job that, like, when I was young and teenager, and then in my early 20s, you know, you could make at the time it was like $9-10 an hour doing construction demos. So I did a lot of that, and then you know, just like I stopped liking the wear and tear of it, and kind of tried to get. But it was hard to get a waiter job in LA. When I moved to LA, there, I felt like getting a waiter was more competitive than getting on a TV series because everybody was there like chasing those jobs. But I've definitely run the gamut of that kind of stuff.
Yeah, me too. Everything from a lot of restaurant work, some hotel work, farming work. As a raspberry,
Farming?
yeah, I grew up in a rural area, so yeah, some farming work, and it was a raspberry picker. But I literally also for one summer dug ditches. You know, it's like the, you know, the which is hard work. You know, so I always feel very grateful when I'm going to work, and any day that's challenging, I think, well, I could be back digging ditches.
You could. Now you could drive an Uber now because that's what everyone does now. All the
It
actors
is,
seem
although
to-
you know, it's that's a hard racket. I've got a couple of friends that are Uber drivers. Not that easy to make to sustain oneself.
How much money do they make from Uber?
About $450-500 a week if you put in 60 hours.
It's not so bad.
Oh, really?
Not so.
60
but,
hours.
but if you got it,
$400 a week. Yeah.
you have children and live in Los Angeles, you know, to try and sustain on $400-500 a week is, you know, can be challenging. You know,
So better become an actor.
better to become an actor.
Can
Yeah.
I take Hi there, thanks for watching my channel. If you like that video, maybe there's other videos you like here on my channel. So please subscribe, share, comment, do whatever you like. Be happy, be nice to people. And I hope I see you again soon. Bye.